Welcome to the Saturday Santos show. This episode is a special one where we have not one great guest, but two great guests. So I don't know if you guys know, this show has been on a little hiatus for a bit because of this project we were working on. A few others I've been helping out as well.
Busy guy.
Trying to be, man. So let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
We were filming a short film for a contest for this October, and we got two awesome people that helped put it together, Kenneth and Barna. And you know what? I'm tired of hearing my voice. Why don't you guys tell us about it?
All right, there.
So this project, I wrote it in around August, and when I learned about the My Road Reel contest, and I was like, well, who can I remember our last episode, we had some conversations behind the scenes. What happens at Amero's stays at Amero.
That's how I like it.
And
that's why I film it and post everything.
So we talked, and we were like, we should do something together. And I was like, when I wrote this, and I was like, okay, I'm going to call Amero now and see if he's down. And then I was like, let's get Barna and all these other guys in. We had actors pulling out like at the last minute, and even our director
Classic.
pulled out at the last minute because he was an actor.
Ooh. This is Michael.
Michael.
Tisk, Michael. Never forgiving you, buddy.
Never. No, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
So
I haven't had this much fun in a long time because of COVID. So
I mean, that's good though, man. I'm glad you had a good time. I thought it was great. I have to admit, read the script and I heard your vision of the project, and I was just happy to help.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I filmed anything narrative. So I was like, why the hell not? And it was a longer time since I've had to call in some favors, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Which worked out. It helped out. I mean, Jim was there, and it was
you guys
good.
were great.
Nah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's always fun working with him because we've worked together for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Caden was there, Katie was there, and Sam was there. So we got a ton of behind the scenes, which is what this video is for. Yeah. Not just a podcast, but
Some behind BTS.
Yes.
I remember the day we had our first meeting, I turned to Barna and I was like, so you're no longer associate producer unless you want to be. You want to direct this thing?
I was like, sure. Why not?
Very cool.
I like the first I want to address both extremes. It's very brave that you made this short film because people have killed themselves for less. And also, I mean, I don't know. I think it should be addressed that certain people are out there doing things they shouldn't be doing, and they should get some type of comeuppance. And if it's not in this world, it'll be in the next, in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
But I don't know what your thoughts were on the moral ground of the. You did write it.
Yeah. I wrote this film primarily I've got a daughter on the way. And a lot's going on in the world, and this particular topic was a hot button. I am one of 3 generations of survivors of sexual abuse. So I wrote this. It was kind of difficult to write it but at the end of the day, the purpose was, no, you don't get to get away with it. I just wanted to really drive that home, that it's not okay. And I got frustrated that I'm not hearing a lot in the news about it, that it's just kind of disappeared. Because, I mean, there's a lot. I get it. There's a lot going on, but this is big to me. This is huge.
Yeah, yeah.
And this character I created, people said, you look like your mom a lot, which at first glance it's like, oh, that's funny and interesting, but my mom has suffered some terrible things too, and it's almost like an ode to her. You know, like I'm embodying a lot of family trauma and problems into this project. And trying to, my goal as a filmmaker has always been take something that is just horrible or whatever and make, if you have something that's just terrible or something that's a tough subject, make the most beautiful film about it that you can, or the most interesting film about it, so that people don't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't forget that. It never leaves their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I didn't show it on set. No one would know, but this was pretty challenging for me as an actor.
I didn't come across that way. I'll be honest, man. That's pretty interesting stuff, dude. I didn't realize it was such a personal, intimate subject for you, because on set and even in the script it was pretty lighthearted and you know, more quirky, funny, campy even is you know, words that I heard you bring up, and I mean it definitely gives depth, a lot more depth on the subject matter. You know, which to your point is something that isn't talked about enough.
I agree.
You know, that's wild stuff, man. So, I mean, you wrote it in August.
Yeah.
And what made you want to put it together so quickly? That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Because we filmed this in September. That's a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even if we didn't submit, I wanted to submit it to this thing, obviously. And it looks like we're going to make it.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to make it just on the cusp, which is fine with me. But even if we weren't, I was just like, Barno and I were in the middle of filming his movie at the beginning of the year, Blue Angel, which goes back to a universe that we started filming in 2010. That was our first film award, was in 2010.
Wow.
Filming that film. And I was like, talking with Barno, I was like, it's time we get this thing on the road and start. And then we're 2 scenes away. Yeah. And then COVID. And everything shut down, and Atlanta's a ghost town, you know. Yeah. And I went in, sunk into this. First it was like depression almost, and then it really I was like, well, I have so much time. I'm not working. I'm getting unemployment, which was good. I actually was able to get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how can I be creative? So I came up with this idea about reapers that reaps. It was supposed to be a series.
Yeah.
About reapers that reap different souls, like an anthology, kind of like Twilight Zone. And then when this contest thing came, I was like, well, why don't I take one of those and ideas and make a new thing about, and just go with that, because I thought it was interesting. And so I was like, just really, I think, more creative than I've been in a long time, because I've had time. So these bad things are happening in the world, but in terms of time, I'm like, wow, I haven't had this much time to like just think about my art purely in a long time. And Barna and I have worked together. That's 10 years now. So, you know, every time I reach out to him, I'm like, I got a thing. It's one of those things like, what you doing? It's like, whatever you doing, man. Like,
all right, put it on me.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah.
But what was your initial thought? I know you helped me kind of rewrite something, tweak it.
What you're saying to me right now, like I say, is a revelation. I didn't know it was really that deep. I could see yeah, I could see some of that with the subject matter and how
Yeah.
you chose to go about it, but I didn't know it was that deep. But at the same time, like I say, it's brave because a lot of people, it isn't like you say, it's not talked about. People don't want to talk about it. They're either a part of that or they're afraid of what would happen if they talk about it. And you can't beat it unless you just start talking about it and start beating it over everybody's head until they can't stand it anymore and they start addressing it. So, and to your point before, I like how you were saying, yeah, you don't get to get away with it
Yeah.
because you figure you live your life, you do all this stuff, and you die. It's like, yeah, they got away with it. Like, nah.
And even I killed myself, so I got away with it, kind of thing.
Yeah. But did you?
But did you? Yeah.
No.
No matter what you believe or what your faith or whatever it is, that's not the point of the film. The point is, I want to see him not get away with it to the point to where it's terrifying.
Sure. You can't escape your
You
consequences.
can't, right? And so, in the end, I think you mentioned that the lightheartedness. I think that kind of helped me.
Mm-hmm.
That really helped me kind of. If I had made it all drama, I don't think I'd have made it.
You mean made it as in create the thing?
If I had written it as without any light moments,
Sure.
or any, I kind of liked. I write things before I don't ever think of a genre before I write something. I think that's detrimental to a creator because then you're boxing yourself into. I'm going to write a horror movie.
You guys are good.
And then at the end of the day, it's like, well, what if it turns out to not be a horror movie?
Right.
And then you're stuck with, it has to be horror because it's got all these people on to do a horror movie. But you think about it, it's, you're boxing yourself in before you have something written. So I never write with an idea of this is going to be this or this is going to be that. It's always write it first and then decide that later.
Or at least the first scene or so.
Yeah.
To see how it might develop.
Because I've written comedies that ended up being better dramas.
Sure.
Or maybe dramedies. You can maybe mix it together. And then I write a horror movie. I was like, this would be funnier as a comedy.
Yeah.
So.
What horror was that?
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay.
So I, creatively, I wrote it and then I really thought about it and I was just like, yeah, I want there to be some really, just something to really, I'm a big into magic and I do magic on the side, little for kids and stuff.
Oh, man.
I'm not like any, I'm learning some interesting
Dr.
stuff.
Strange.
Okay.
But that you've noticed some of that in the film. There's something turns it, turning into something else or something appearing out of nothing. The whole purpose of this character was to distract Chuck from his fate. And that's what magic is. Distract the audience while you do the actual trick so that they're thinking about what you're doing here, but you've, slipped the card or you have made the coin appear elsewhere. And so I approached it from a magician's point of view. Like, how do we make this magical moment that really distracts not only the audience, but the character
Sure.
from what's really coming,
I like that, man.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really something else, dude. The more we talk, the deeper it gets. So what made you... So this will be supplemental content anyway, like, before we get to talk about the actual production, the behind the scenes stuff. I think it'd be interesting is, let's say this stuff pushes out, because the idea is the contest, you push it out, people see it, and then they vote. Oh, that's great. So this being a good supplemental content, what made you go for the Reaper looking the way they did? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty surprised. Because it's not in the script.
No, it's not. No, when you read it, you'd had no clue.
I'm thinking scythe. I'm thinking black robe. I'm thinking, okay.
Just
bright light.
I have to admit, I've made assumptions myself.
So initially, when I wrote it and I was thinking about it, it was like, okay, here's the Grim Reaper, or a Grim Reaper type.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And as I kept reading it, I read it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end is, or I come out in a white suit, you know, it's just a guy in a white suit.
Sure.
And it's like, yeah, you did all these great things. It's just some businessman, you know.
Mm.
And then at the end, it's back to the other thing. And I was like,
Overdone.
I said, it's just so normal and plain. And
Mm-hmm.
like, everyone knows what the Grim Reaper looks like. These things have been, I think they've just been done.
Sure.
And I thought,
Cliches.
what if, what if part of the distraction for the audience is, you know, this drag character?
Mm-hmm.
What if, you know, because when they first see it, it's going to be very like, you know,
What the hell does
wait, because in the very beginning, you just think it's not even, you don't even, it's ambiguous what sex I am, you know. It's, you can kind of see the shape, you know, and you
Sure.
just see the lips, but that could be dark lips for
So was
any
that-
kind of character.
Was that important to you to kind of be a little more androgynous?
In the beginning, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
At the end, it's pretty obvious, but I just look like my mom in drag, in gothic drag
There you go.
makeup. But I was like, that's part of the distraction for the audience, mainly. And then, but that character alone, I thought of that character when I was thinking of making this a series, and having this drag character that has two brothers, and she's like the middle one and doesn't, you know. And the Grim Reaper is their dad, you know, and their mom is Satan. You know, there's these really weird interactions between all of them. So I kind of took that and I was like, I'm gonna put that character in this film to really up the distraction levels for the audience. It is not easy to be a woman,
I can only imagine.
If I was close, I'm going to get to it.
and I'm only touching the surface of the problems. Me and my wife went to Target, okay, and we're looking for tights because you have to wear a lot of tights
Uh-huh.
to get the shape.
Pull things in.
Pull things in. Yeah, that tucking is painful,
I
brother.
can imagine.
Anyways,
Better you than me.
yeah. So we go to Target and I'm like, oh, there they are. That's the ones we need, right? I was like, how much are they? She's like, $20. I was like, oh, how many are in there? One.
Dude.
I went, is this what you deal with all the time? Why?
Whoa.
Why one? It's like
Society
you could
says
have
so.
5 in there because they're so easy to make.
Yeah.
Make money like that.
All right. But I started looking. Then I'm on this journey, this feminist journey. I'm looking up things that cost more for women than they do for men, and
Oh, there's definitely
they don't. Yeah,
a female tax.
the pink
dude.
tax or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know you're going to buy this.
You know you're gonna buy it, and we're not gonna put pockets on your clothes, so you'll buy a purse. You know, like it sucks. We got it good, man. With our clothes, it's just give
Yeah.
me some jeans and a.
$5.
All right, like go to. I mean,
Hurry up and buy it.
that's
Yeah,
why there's
yeah.
so many ladies when I worked at the thrift store. So many women at the thrift store. I mean, there was always more women at the thrift store than there were men because it was just like that's how I met Lauren, our set designer, who,
Is
by
that
the way,
right?
she is. You are wonderful, Lauren, and we love you.
You're incredible. Please know that.
It was a pleasure working with you.
She really is great.
It really was.
But I met her at Last Chance years ago.
Oh, okay.
wow.
Never worked with her before. Send her a message about this movie that me and him were doing, and she's like, "Yeah."
You never
Here's
worked
some
with her
posters.
before this project?
No, before mine and his at the beginning of the year.
Ah.
She comes on set. You got to tell
Oh, yeah. So,
about your project.
he has a nice location near his house. It's an old school gas station,
Yeah,
and it looks like a trap house. It's
Wow.
which
this-
is what he wanted.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
wanted for the scene. So I mean, we walk in there. It looks like it's all messed up, and we do it up. And then Lauren comes and she has all these posters. I told her I gave her a little bit of info, just small info about the political
Backstory.
background. Yeah, the political backstory of the world.
Futuristic.
There's a senator named Maxwell who's coming up like Trump to become president.
Yeah.
And he's a bad person, and nobody wants him to become president. I'm like, that's just in the background, you know. That's just. She comes up with this poster. It's like something out of They Live.
She
It's
just
like
made
consume.
the poster at home.
Whoa.
Don't vote for Maxwell.
Yeah.
Down with Maxwell. I mean, and we just filled them all over the walls, and we messed them up a little bit to make it look like the place was old, like a trap house. I'm like, whoa, you went way out of your way, because these posters were pretty good.
Yeah, they weren't like just like print them off the printer.
Yeah, I had to actually print them off the printer so I could use those versions on the wall instead of the actual ones she gave me, because I didn't feel like using those.
They were so nice.
You
We didn't
kept
wanna
the
use them.
originals,
We're
man.
talking about the night before we filmed.
The night before we
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, we're gonna make copy these. We're gonna keep these, and thank you.
for the next project. And not to mention what she did. We filmed at my house.
Oh man.
And my house is 100 years old on its own. It already looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So she comes in. It's a little house, but she comes in and she just like, it looks like, and the character is very earthy. She's like a seer. She's like a psychic, you know. And she just makes this place
Yep, she lives there.
look like something. I mean, we walked in and me and Caitlin were like, "What? Where are we?"
I would say the Oracle. Say like the Oracle's house. From
The
Matrix.
Oracle's house, and
I mean,
she changed everything in our house.
Wow.
So she's very, very, and it was her idea to do the red carpet thing in our film that we worked on, which you had a lot of fun filming that one shot where we.
I wanted to fit it in somehow, man.
That's a great shot. It
one
really
way,
is.
one way or another. It's gonna be in there.
But she just works really hard,
Yes.
and she did some costume ideas designed too, which she kind of floats in between. For this project we did, she did a lot. She really did a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like everyone that was on there definitely picked up their weight.
And Amelia, girl, I wouldn't have been able. I can't do the drag makeup. I mean,
yeah.
This was like her first time. We met before, and this was her first time trying it. She has friends that helped her,
I see.
but she's a pro. Like, she's got a license to do this, so she really nailed it.
I think so too, man.
And when I knew she nailed it when I looked like my mother,
Right.
because I was like, you did it right. You accented the correct parts of my face.
There you go.
It's invigorating. It really is interesting. It's so funny because we were filming at the church that first day.
Mm-hmm.
Marty, the pastor, he's been in theater for 20 years. He taught, him and Scott taught acting together
No way.
at Callenwald.
What?
Yeah, they're huge in the theater world, and I mean they're just legendary dudes. And Scott, you really nailed it, by the way.
Absolutely.
You did really great. Marty comes. He doesn't know anything about this. He comes in. He's bringing us fake blood. Like, he has fake blood in his fridge at home or something. Like, I've got. He calls me. He's like, "You want O negative or?"
Oh my God.
So he comes in with this fake blood and sees me and goes, "Where's Kenneth?" And I went, "Hey, Marty."
I want to say we have that on camera behind the
I
scenes.
wish we
dude.
did. I hope we do. But it's just a great moment because I've known Marty for 15 years, and he's like,
where's Kenneth?
Oh my God.
and he's leaving. It's so funny because him and Scott started talking. I can see Humero going, "Gotta shoot this scene,"
We gotta shoot it, man.
and Marty's on his way out, and you're ready to go, and he catches me real quick. He's like, "Kenneth, hey, meet me in my room." He's like, "Meet me in my room later."
Oh.
And I was like, I had to go do the scene, but that's an interesting rabbit hole.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Choice of words.
Right? Yeah.
I love that. And it was to talk about the shooting that green screen day. That's what we did, is knock out all that stuff first.
Yeah.
Green screen day, came in. Jim had the hardest job, or the most intense, just to set it all up.
Yeah.
But once that
Man.
was set up, shooting always goes so quick
It was great.
for all that stuff. And then a single camera, a lot of behind the scenes throughout the day. Took a lot of
It
stills.
was pretty simple shoot. We are going to do, for the actors that got cut from the short version, we are going to do an extended version for the festival circuit next year, which is going to be even better
Oh, yeah.
than, because we did some really great stuff, especially at the house.
I think so. And I think if you were to edit in with everything that you need, everything
Yeah.
that we shot,
Yeah.
it would be around 6 minutes.
6 minutes,
6,
something
7
like that,
minutes, which is going to be great. I can't wait to do that one.
That one
was-
would be a little more fun because we don't have to sacrifice this much.
Yeah.
This was really hard to cut. It's
cut
a
it
lot of
down.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
in
I'm
one thing.
tempted for you to cut down a little bit of that push out shot of her planting, just
yeah.
to give you room in the beginning.
Right.
I'm thinking to have like, Chuck come down the stairs and then really quick cuts
Something,
of just
yeah.
like his death scene, just
I
very
guess
close
the only
up.
problem there is the audio. I'd have to cut the audio somehow too if I cut that shot because I'm saying something right there. But yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, yeah.
But it really is. I mean, it kind of is very brash right in the beginning. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like, hey, so what is it going to be?
Yeah, yeah. But that's how it is, man. You gotta make compromises
Yeah.
with this kind of
it's no different
stuff.
it's no different from a Twilight Zone episode. I mean, a lot of them start off. A lot of stuff is so advanced, you can't really like just spend the whole time explaining it. You got to jump right into it. Like I think about that episode where the guy was at the bar. And he's talking about how he's an alien and how they're about to invade. And it turns out the guy opposite him was an alien that was already been there, and their people had been there. You know, you could spend years explaining that background story, how the war between these two and how they ended up under. Nah, you just jump right into it.
Twilight Zone is a huge influence of mine.
Yeah.
I've watched every episode of the original Twilight Zone probably more than once. There is an episode similar to this where the guy believes he's in heaven. And he's been told he's in heaven, and there's all these things, but it's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And it keeps happening, and he's getting everything he wants. And he realizes getting everything he wants
Sucks.
is hell.
Yeah.
Is hell. It's not fun at all.
That's like that show. What's it called? The Good Place. This is really the bad place. Yeah, man. That's awesome. And you're not the first person to say that. One
Yeah.
guy I had on here too, Ricky Hess.
Yeah.
He does a whole web series, and he's actually cut it together as a film. To your point, it's basically an anthology.
Yeah.
Like the Twilight Zone and what they call this, where it's about a hotel, and it's horror based, campy type of stuff. And I mean, it's interesting that you brought that up because I'm like, man, I was raised on it.
The
as
horror
well.
hotel.
That's right. Yeah.
You worked on that with
Yeah.
Baby Norman
Uh-huh.
and I know some folks from that.
Yeah. I helped.
Wow.
I shot that episode.
Yeah.
And with her, she did a couple with them, and we shot that episode in a couple of weekends.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, yeah, there's a lot of similarities in tone and campiness.
Yeah.
With both shorts. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I was pleased with everything because it was just the right amount of campiness to be distracting and ridiculous, and then that last shot is just it's so just in your face, you know. And we were editing it. I was editing it, and Caitlin was like, "I was on set. I was there, and that scared me when I saw the edit. And it's not even color graded at that point.
Sure.
But it was really great. I'm just glad we were able to really pull a team that was willing to be like, yeah, okay, we're all going to wear masks.
Oh yeah.
We were all very safe. So I know if you watch this film, you see the actors holding hands. All three of us were tested negative before we did it. We had hand sanitizer. So anyway, yeah, had hand sanitizer on set.
Just for safety.
Some bleach baths. No, but it was very great because there was a lot of folks that were worried, like, well, how are we going to do this? Because I mean, we had maybe 11 people, 10 or 11 people at the most every single time.
I think so.
filmed.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
No. I mean, I honestly forgot I had the mask on
Yeah,
after
right.
the first hour.
Right, you forget.
And it's just like, yeah, that wasn't a big deal for me.
But we got this film, and then when we have the extended, we'll have a film for festivals, and we're gonna try to finish yours.
Yeah, I want to finish that by the end of
This film has got some sword fighting.
Sword fight.
That's what won us an award in 2010. Was our choreography wasn't Americanized. It was actually looked really kung fu thanks to this guy.
Very cool.
So we're doing it again with this film.
Yeah, but
Okay.
We're trying to up the ante a little bit. So
This is a feature.
it's probably, I think at most it'll probably be 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Maybe a little bit more. I don't know.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah.
So still a short film.
Mm-hmm.
A short
Yes.
film. Very
Yeah.
cool. Hell yeah.
He's had this vision for years.
Is that right?
This sci-fi,
well, it's been made. Well, it's gonna
Lean
undergone
in a
some.
little.
Oh, sorry. It's undergone some changes. I mean, it used to be very simple. It was just 3 people. 2 of them want to fight one dude. They both get killed. But I figured I needed to expand that, so I added 3 extra scenes to explain what each character is and how they interact, and I made it a little bit less convoluted. And I'm trying to add a little extra. I don't know what's the word. A little fanciness to it as far as the fighting.
I dig it.
Because it's more than just sword fighting. In one scene, I'm sword fighting my master, and she's drunk.
Classic.
Drunken master.
But she's so, she taught me everything.
Uh-huh.
And she's so skilled. It's like, yeah, she's playing with me. It's like I'm a child.
Uh-huh.
And she's playing with me while she's drinking. So I figured the fans would like something like that.
Absolutely.
And she'll be like the one of everyone's favorite character when they see that.
Yeah.
Now they see where the immortal swordsman got his skill from.
I see.
When we filmed The Immortal Swordsman in 2010 on a Panasonic AG100 mini DV,
There we go.
no lenses, just a zoom. We built a track dolly. We had a crane shot there, and we implemented these scenes that I didn't know how we were gonna. I mean, I even made a Steadicam out of cast iron pipe that my dad had for HVAC work for putting in gas fittings.
Wow.
And I just put weights at the bottom so I could have this, and those cameras were. They're
Beefy.
really video cameras.
Yeah.
But I had to put it up there, and I had to follow. There's this scene where I had to follow him and Alan, the other actor, fighting while they were like Alan's running backwards and he's running toward him, and they're
What?
and I'm like, I do this. They're doing this, and I was doing this, so that I ended up here.
Right.
And what I'd still to this day, just that one shot and the other shots that we did, I don't know how we did it in 2 days. I don't know how we shot everything in 2 days because the deadline was right around the corner.
That's always.
So I guess it makes sense. We work pretty good under pressure, I guess. But people didn't expect the fighting to be. They expected a lot of jump cuts, and he had this thing down to where you can really see the fight, and it looks, like a real fight, not some, right,
Very
like
stilted.
some Avengers movie where you every time you go in for a punch, you cut into the punch.
Right.
We did some of that, but I think with this next one, we're really gonna try to do some more one-ers.
Yeah, like I've been paying a lot of attention to like old Shaw Brother films.
Sure.
Especially Shaw Brothers. Shaw Brothers is the extreme example. There's no way we're gonna be like that. We're talking about 5-minute no cut action sequences. You can't do that. But
Not
like
right now.
anything that's long enough to where your mind can actually see what's going on, so that when you cut to the next scene, you're not confused. You can just follow back along with the action. That's the main thing. No Jason Bourne.
Sure.
No. Well, any of those quick cutting. No. What's the guy? Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson movies.
No 15 cuts just to jump over the fence. None of that stuff.
Taken 5
Yeah,
or
Taken 5,
3
yeah.
or whatever it was.
So
Yeah.
like I was focusing on making the fight choreography consistent, so that at the very least at least 5 to 6 seconds a shot maybe.
Sure.
As a start off, maybe we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah.
So people can understand, they can see. And
Well,
at
I
least
feel like
marvel.
that's why kung fu movies got so popular. It's because over here we're used to movie magic, making it look like it happened, but over there they were actually doing it. So it was a big
Practically,
difference.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
practically like
It's so different.
performing this stuff, and we're over here like, how the hell? But
But they're professionals.
I think that's what made movies like The Matrix stand out. Is because they had kind of a mix of that.
Well, at the time, they actually had to spend a few months actually training the same way the people
Right.
in China do.
90
Like,
miles an hour, man. Well,
So
over here, it's
by
like 20.
then, with a little help, they actually looked like they could actually perform everything
Right.
to a degree.
That's
But
awesome, man.
But the problem was, I hate to go philosophical on this. The problem was, by doing that, they proved that they could take any actor, train them for a few months, and make them look good on camera.
Sure.
Unfortunately, we know that's not the truth.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
Sure.
But it's different for it's always the conundrum. It's the very good physical actors who can't emote, who can't act,
Right.
or it's the opposite. They're good actors, but they've never done any physical
done
training.
anything.
So
What's interesting is
find
this-
where
medium.
it comes together. For Shaw Brothers had it for a while,
Yeah.
but it was within their they didn't do a lot of modern movies. It was all back in the day
Right.
type stuff. So
That's
there's
what's
a balance.
interesting to me, man. Like, for me, if I was in Hollywood, I would think it's the opposite. Because, I mean, I dig it. They're trying to get these pretty people to be able to do all this stuff. But
Do
there's
8 flips in the air.
there's
Right.
stuff.
plenty of pretty people that can know how to fight.
Uh-huh.
And to me, I mean, you would wager it would be easier to teach someone how to act than fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you have an actor that has this other skill, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm with you though, man. Like one of my favorite movies, favorite actors, Jackie Chan. I grew up on his
Oh,
films.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And only recently, the past year or two, I started going back in his like older catalog when he was super young.
Oh yeah.
And dude, there are so many stunts, so many sequences that would never fly here.
Man.
Ever.
Ever.
Even in the 70s, there's no
The
way.
union, yeah, no, they would
There's
have
no way,
they'd
bro.
have, they'd have puppies in Hollywood. They'd be like,
No
"You're gonna do
way.
what?"
Yeah, there would be no way.
He got injured
A
a lot.
A lot. But dude, I mean, those things, those films, just even the sequences themselves is just
Incredible.
unreal.
Like ones where he would straight up jump from one building into like a window,
Yeah,
you know, and make it.
right.
All
And
right, we gotta do it again.
and you're like, wait, we didn't get the shot. My fear is like, did you get the fucking shot? Like,
Right,
did you?
right.
That's what terrifies me about scenes like that, because it's
Sure.
like we've done some scenes where it's like, if you screw it up, we can't blow this up again, you know, or
Right,
we
right.
can't turn. We had a scene in Love My Country where we had to burn something or blow something up. I was like, if the actor is on camera and anything goes wrong, we don't have another one of these to blow up.
Yeah. One takes, man. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, the one take wonder.
Those are my favorite.
Clint Eastwood thinks so too.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I'm not ready yet.
Yeah,
Wait a second, more practice.
I love that kind of stuff. man.
Eastwood is big on that. He's very much
One take.
when they'll do one and the actor's like, I don't know if that was fine. Let's move on. And everyone's like,
Wow.
okay, he said it was
Mr.
fine.
Eastwood. Okay, Mr. Eastwood.
Yeah,
Don't kill
Mess
me.
with Mr. Eastwood.
I feel like I'm the same way, man. Unless I'm really picky that day.
Yeah.
If I see it, it works. I'm like,
do
that's it. That's
I have my moods,
it. Yeah.
but when it comes to certain, like, if a lot of times I put myself in roles that I know I don't have to worry too much about, of self-direction sometimes, or I'll ask for direction, but I will get to the point where I'm like, okay, I got to convince this actor how they need to look. And sometimes it takes several takes. And we were working on Blue Angel, and the character playing Alvita, the psychic, she had this vision about this guy she was in love with, and she knows he's about to leave, but she didn't want him to. She knows he's gonna die or whatever, and all this stuff's happening. But I said, there's something missing here. She's too like, oh, you know, whatever. It's like, no, you loved this guy, because she was just kind of brushing it off. It's like, no, you need to know that future that you can foresee is gone. And I was like, okay, she's an artist, she's a musician, just great actress. She's very subtle, very good.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, turn the cameras on, and I just want you to listen to my voice. That's all I want you to do, and look that way. And then I recited some poetry from one of my friend's songs that kind of fit this whole thing. And she did this real subtle thing in that moment. And I was
Love
like,
for a second.
that's it.
Right.
That's the one. You can't do that with everyone. You know, some people won't respond to that, but I had to gauge and say, will this person feel what I'm saying or not? That's why I like to get to know my actors, usually, if I can. If not, I'll find another way to.
Sure.
But I do like to get to know them and be like, well, you know, what makes you tick? How you know, what's your hobbies? What's your passions? You know. So.
Yeah, it probably also depends on the piece as well, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know some directors, they're pretty rigid in
Right.
the way they approach any sort of film, and they kind of
Yeah.
take that philosophy with every single one, even if it changes genres. But for me,
Right.
like, if it's something dramatic, to your point, if it's something that, you know, it's really obvious this needs to come across.
Right.
having to fight for that, yeah, super important. But for the most part, at least lately, like what we shot,
Pretty
something
cut and dry.
campy.
It's pretty cut and dry.
I mean, unless you're looking for something pretty specific, like you did with, there at the end,
yeah.
with the Reaper, I felt like that works.
It came across,
yeah. I mean, I think that works. The actors are doing their job.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, and I didn't have to worry about Scott.
Oh, sure.
I mean, Scott's just, you give him direction, he takes it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I mean, the guy's I think he's got a master's degree from England and theater or something.
Holy
and
shit.
like,
For a while?
he's been teaching for years. And when I called, cat's getting in the cabinet. When I called him or sent him a message, he was, because here's some drama that happened. We're 4 days from filming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm freaking out because my main actor that was going to play Chuck, which was originally Bill, it was Bill's fate, and now it's Chuck's fate. We'll talk about that later. And he sends me messages that I don't want to do it. I can't do it.
Who is this?
The actor that was going to play Chuck.
The guy who owned the house.
Yeah. So
I see.
he says he backs out
Okay.
last minute, and I'm like, okay, I can respect that. He didn't want to play that character.
Sure.
I mean, the guy's despicable. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is 4 days before filming, so I'm like, "Arr."
Yeah.
I reach out to Scott, and I'm just like, please, God. I reached out to like 3 guys.
Yeah.
2 guys were like, sorry, yeah, I got other things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Scott goes, you know what? Yeah.
Why not?
You know what? I haven't done anything in like 8 months.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he's been at home quarantining.
You told me about that, man. Yeah.
So he was, and then he comes on and he's just like, this was the most fun I've had in a long time. And
That's awesome.
it really changed. Like, he was just like, man, I have not been able to be creative in years, and you guys have made my life better.
That's
I was like,
good.
wow. And he's great fun. He's just a fun guy, and he's an improver. You can tell he's an improver.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, most people around Atlanta are, man.
yeah.
This is so funny. There's so many improv. Like, I'm working with Whole World to get another 8 shorts here filmed by February, hopefully.
Oh wow.
We did a first season of Renegades.
Yeah.
Where we started around now, like in September, October. Started writing, doing all the pre-production.
Yeah.
And then in January, which is hopefully going to work out this year as well, is we filmed 4 days, 2 consecutive weekends, 8 shorts, like 100 hours plus of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it turned out great. So hopefully we
That's
get to
great.
do that again.
Heck yeah.
But all improv.
Yeah, of course.
All of it. Like we did a lot of.
You hear that, Michael?
We wrote it all, and there were scripts. But once you get out there,
Yeah.
especially when the talent wants to stretch, wants
Some of the
to-
best stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been on set and I'll have written something, and most of the time, unless it's a film like this where it's very simple, cut and dry, there's not,
Sure.
some of the best stuff comes from the actor going, well, I feel like my character, and well, sometimes actors are, but I've had the best lines come out of actors going, well, this sounds better, and then I look at my script and I'm like, you know what, you're right.
Sure.
It does sound a lot better. Michael's film, I've been trying to work with him for a long time. He filmed this whole feature.
Michael, really?
Michael Howell. Yeah, he filmed a whole feature.
Where is it? Let's see it, Michael.
I
What
got
you
it on
holding
my
back,
computer,
bro?
and he was trying to edit it himself. I mean, he's trying to do all this, and he finally comes to me and is like, will you help me edit it? And I was like, yeah.
Okay.
And I watched it, and I was like, we need to add some scenes.
Uh-huh.
I was like, let's do it. And we filmed new scenes so we can release it.
Wow.
So I'm still working on that, finishing that for him.
I see.
But the whole film is improv, but it's drama.
Okay.
So I was like, you did a drama. He first told me about it. I was like, I'm going to watch this,
Yeah.
and it's just going to suck. I'm not going to like it because you just told me you did a whole improv movie. No lines, just maybe some skeleton things here and there, completely improv. And I'm going, okay. And then I watch it at the church where we filmed it, put it up on the big screen, and I was just like, you actually pulled it off somehow. And it really tells an interesting narrative. Like it's like you want to know what's going on, and I was like, dude, this is like almost 2 hours, and you were able to somehow like cohesively remember what each character did. And I mean, Michael's brain, your brain is just
weird, sir.
I have to check it out, man.
Once we're done, I'll send it to you.
Please.
It's very indie. Michael's big on ambiguity.
That's okay. I don't mind any of that, man. Like,
But he's just brilliant. I think you're brilliant, Michael.
it's a good story. I'm all about it. I
Yeah.
could care less of the medium or anything like this. For me, I was pretty critical of him when I worked with him in January, though.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Uh-oh.
Michael, buddy.
Buddy.
Uh-oh.
So it probably worked for his benefit that it was improv.
Oh, no.
What you guys did, because what we worked on in January, it was a fun little Valentine's Day type
Oh, yeah,
of
he
thing.
told me about that.
Yeah. That was it wasn't bad.
And it's so funny because when I met Michael, I saw a bad movie that he was in.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention it, but you know what I'm talking about. The movie was horrible. It was just...
Those are my favorite kind.
I mean, it wasn't even redeemably laughable horrible. It was that bad. But he took his character and he played that character really good.
Okay.
So I was like, that guy, he's got something. And then we filmed Malik in 2015, where he plays a serial killer that is a family of assassins.
Yeah.
And he just nailed it. I've been working with him ever since.
Okay.
And we did like all these shorts in 2015. Tried to knock out like a short a month. It didn't end up working out, but we filmed a lot of shorts that year.
Okay.
And I was just like, man. So I developed this relationship with Michael, to the point to where, and he ended up being in my wedding. I mean, we're just great friends. But as an actor, I found ways to really know how to motivate him when we're working. So we love working together, because he's like, you get stuff out of me I don't know I can do.
Hell yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, man, I love the guy too. Great actor.
Just a good dude. You're just
A
a
good
good
dude.
dude, Mike.
A
Yeah,
good dude.
This
Yeah,
episode is now just about Michael. No.
And I think that's enough. I think we're good.
Okay. All right, cut it. On that note.
Nah, man. Nah. I think it was a fun shoot, and
Yeah.
I think the final piece, it looks great.
Yeah.
It sounds great. It feels, there's a lot of nice tangible moments there.
It's a lot in a short amount of time, but I wanted it to feel like you're watching a longer film.
Yeah, well, sure. It's funny, man, because whenever you edit and your script was 3-4 pages, if that.
Yeah.
And there's 7 minutes in my mind there.
I know.
That could work.
I know.
And it's crazy to think about. They say a minute a page, but it really just
I
depends.
can never do it.
I really maybe dialogue.
Right.
But
It's
when
like
you're
maybe
setting up a
next
scene-
time I do a 3-minute short, I just write one page, because I can never get it to
Yeah.
where it's just because I got all these ideas.
Yeah.
So I guess if I ever wanted to make it exactly 3 minutes, I should make it maybe 2 or 1.
It's tough, man. It's tough to fit in time frames. But I think those kind of restrictions, along with the collaborative effort, is just what makes some of the best projects.
This was probably one of the best teams I've ever worked with.
Oh,
You
good,
guys,
dude.
Jim Ross,
Yeah, that's no probably.
Caden, Katie, all of you guys were just Sam. You guys are awesome.
I didn't have to do anything. So it's like,
Except
yeah.
go, you do that, and
Yeah,
that's just the actors.
That's right. That's right.
Oop.
And me and Barna, we talked before, so we did some pre-directing. See,
Whatever that guy says, that's what we're gonna do.
so people are like, "Where's the directors?"
love
Like,
it.
he already worked with me. We're good.
I love it, man. Nah, it was a lot of fun. We appreciate you having us out and
Yeah.
helping
Appreciate y'all.
helping create what you guys wanted. Hopefully, you guys are happy with it.
Love it.
And I'm looking forward to it again.
Yeah.
Doing it again.
Yeah.
Fixing up again.
Let me know when you need some help, man.
Will do. Well, I'm
I
always
can do a lot of things. Barna's like, I'm out.
It only works if it's both of you.
I was like, only.
Nah, dude, like with me, I'm always trying to narrow down what it is I want to do, because
Yeah.
like with Whole World and their stuff, or even a couple of years back, I did a 48.
Oh yeah, we've done one of those.
Yeah, and like it's a monumental task.
It's
And for me, I'm trying to make sure that if I call on people, I know they're going to be reliable.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to be there.
Exactly.
And if I'm not buttoned up, I'm wasting their time.
Yeah, I agree.
And usually the only thing I ever offer is either food and now behind the scenes, photography, things that
will
people
benefit them
anyway.
Yeah.
And then along with the final piece. So in my mind right now, I was telling you about this Christmas short I want to do. I love it. And the script is already written. But I may push it for the sake of something I know I want to do for sure next year.
Okay.
I've been holding back doing a feature myself for years.
Yeah.
And now
It's
I
a big
think
task.
Yeah.
it is. But what's interesting is, again, it's a challenge, right? But we were watching, what's that movie called with Steve Buscemi? I don't know if you guys seen it, but Lost in Oblivion or something like that. Oh, it's
I
phenomenal.
love Steve Buscemi.
It's an indie film.
Oh.
Okay.
And it has Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
It has a lot of these actors. You can't. Dylan McDermott is in it
Oh, nice.
as a DP.
Yeah.
The
okay.
film is about these guys making a film,
Oh, now I gotta see it.
right?
I had
But
that idea. You
it's-
stole my idea,
it's,
Steve.
It's so indie that for the most part, all of it is in one location.
Okay.
And there's only one or two other scenes that either happen outside that location
Yeah.
or in a hotel room. That's the film.
Wow.
And
I love films like that.
if you watch that film, in my mind, that's a great template to tell a story in. And
Yeah.
the story I want to tell, I was like, okay, well, it's centered around 3 different characters.
Okay.
The film, and there's a place where they start, a place where they start to or they have a clarity,
Yeah.
and a place of transition.
Transition, yeah.
And so in my mind, taking that template, putting it in 3 scenes,
Ah. 3 blocks for a feature.
yeah,
Got it.
3 blocks for a feature, and having it where there's a lot of oneers, and in my mind, it would be interesting to, since it's about making a film, where what would be really fun is if the audience didn't know which reality was real.
Oh, cool.
That's the fun part.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, but it's complicated, and I want to get the writing just right. And to be honest, if we were to shoot it, it would take the same time, 4-5 days.
Yeah.
Nothing
Because
crazy.
you'd have it all mapped out.
All mapped out. It's all in 3 locations.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it would be pretty crazy, but that's what I'm trying to aim for next year
Yeah.
around this time.
Okay.
In August, shoot.
Okay.
December,
Do it, man.
finish. But
I'm
we'll
down.
see. Well, okay.
down too.
I'll remember.
I'm
you
ready.
said that. I'll remember you said that's gonna be heavy.
If we
Got the
win,
recording.
if we win this contest.
Well, that's the other thing. So, what do you guys win?
Okay, so you can win multiple prizes. Apparently.
Okay.
So
okay.
voting isn't the main thing. That's only one of the prizes, popular.
Oh.
So you could win 3rd, 2nd place popular vote prize.
Oh, okay.
All different cash prizes.
Okay.
They say $1 million, but it's $1 million if you win all the different categories or whatever.
If you just
They're
take
giving-
it away.
If you take it away. The main prize is the judge's choice.
I see.
You got the 3 judges, and each one is a different. One of the guys was one of the original Indie Mogul guys. He's on the Film Riot. I don't know if you've heard of him. He
Absolutely.
You look him up, and he's got
They
all
had a
these
YouTube
great
channel,
Oh man,
all
yeah.
this stuff.
Indie
yeah.
Mogul was how I learned how to make the track we made for Immortal Swordsman.
Okay.
Because I looked to them and I was like, oh, that's how they made theirs. I can make mine
They
similarly.
had everything, man.
Oh,
How
I
to
love
light,
them.
how to shoot. Yeah. all that.
You guys, Indie Mogul, shout out to Indie Mogul, bro. Like, so he's one of the judges. Love him. And their prize is it's long list of gear for one, and then $200,000 as the cash prize.
So if the judge's choice, if we win judge's choice, it's a $200,000 sum.
$200,000 plus a long list of Rode gear and other gear from other companies. It's not just Rode, it's Rode and a bunch of other companies that have come together, like Rhino makes like these cool sliders
Yeah.
for cameras.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh, shout out to Rode. We used your microphones.
We did.
The NG13, I think.
Yep.
We basically used them for sound design. So insert clip of that right here.
Right here.
Right here. So you're welcome.
For our inspirational behind the scenes.
Sponsored by Rode.
Sponsored by.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Shut up.
Crazy.
Fucking Siri, man.
Come on, Siri.
With
No,
that.
yeah. Well, so I was confused too. There's not a criteria that they're not like you can't do this, you can't do that. Obviously, if you uploaded some porn or something, they wouldn't accept it. But
Right.
they weren't like you can't be violent or you can't do this.
Sure.
And you can cross genres. Like we don't care. So I was like,
Pretty open. I
I was
like
like,
that.
cool. Then this film has a lot of everything. I think.
Is it to my understanding that you have some insight on the other people competing?
Now we're getting political. No.
Or have you seen any other?
You can actually go watch all
Oh,
of them.
okay.
What you showed me,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think will be okay.
I think we'll be okay.
I think
So
That's what I was looking for.
this part of the episode will come out after we win.
Well, even if we don't, dude, I mean, like for me,
I mean, we're out there.
we're out there. We created a film, and to your point, there's a longer version. There's a,
Which will be for festivals next year.
absolutely, and then this supplemental content and behind the scenes. I did the counting. There's over 30 hours of
Hell
stuff,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
which is
Okay.
unreal. And then
It's
the
unreal.
stills that Katie took.
I can't wait to see those.
Oh, buddy,
For the gram.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So there's definitely a lot there. So the judge's pick is the ideal.
That's the idea. That's the one I'm
That's the
going
one.
for.
So what are the other prizes? Like what are the other?
So the popular one, I think the lowest amount of money is like 10 grand or something like that.
So for the vote,
Different genre prizes,
Different genres, drama. There's also
and that's first, second, and third.
for second, third.
okay.
So there's first, second, third in each category.
Oh shit.
So you could win several categories.
So it's really broad.
Really broad. They did this like several years in the past. I didn't know they were even doing it. You know, and they're based in Australia apparently. Or Rode is, I guess.
Okay.
That's why they're on Australia time. So when they were like, submit it this time, I was like, wait, that's 15 hours ahead.
Yeah.
We're going to submit it at this time.
Yeah, we'll get it out
But-
Tuesday afternoon.
Right. So I was looking at it. There's even, I really like it. There's a young filmmakers, like under a certain age, 13 to 18 or something.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then there's foreign film awards, like best foreign film or best Chinese film.
I love
So there's
that.
a lot of different categories, and I think ours there isn't a horror, but there's several horrors being there's. So they say just choose drama and other,
I see.
and then ours kind of falls somewhere in the comedy,
Yeah.
drama, horror area. You know, it really gives us a kind of a broad.
That's great.
Which is when I wrote it, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the criteria for the prizes, I was like, this might actually be a great thing that we did it this way because it's really you can't really categorize it.
Yeah.
I like doing that anyway. But sometimes you can't sell things that you don't categorize, you
Yeah.
know. But that's just me as a creator.
I love it. I love it. So, okay.
What?
So now this is out. People are going to see it. I'm going to push this out next week.
Okay.
To go with it, I always like to put a clip.
Yeah.
I think for that clip, that should be where can these guys go to vote? Where can we go to see it?
yes. Absolutely.
Let's push it.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be a link to where you can watch the film, and then you have the film, and then the behind the scenes film under it,
Under
which
it.
is the making of film, which you have plenty of behind the scenes, 30 hours. I don't think we're gonna have any trouble
think we'll
making
be
that.
okay.
Okay, hold on. So 30 hours, but we only need 3 minutes as well?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 minutes for the behind the scenes.
Yeah. We'll cut 3 minutes of this and
Yeah,
then
some sappy music while I'm crying.
that's right. And then put the
No.
put everything
Maybe.
under put some B-roll.
Some B-roll on it.
you know, and
It's still going to
easy.
be 7.5 minutes.
Right. That's right.
No, he said I cut this stuff in my sleep, and I was like, dude, same. When it's just like oh, you're just seeing what happened, and there's some dialogue.
Okay.
Simple stuff, talking head, B-roll, that's it. That's all you need. Like, that's the kind of stuff that, you know, in my mind, unless it's something like this or something a lot more rigid or depending on the timing, you know, you just get little bits to fill out 3 minutes, cut the music together, and then just find good-looking B-roll.
Well, our behind the scenes making of has a little of everything.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
It's a story.
Sure.
Well,
I mean, they're judging both films. I mean, technically, they want to know.
There's a behind the scenes award as well.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Camaro, you gotta
well,
Oscar-worthy behind the scenes.
I wouldn't sweat it.
front of it?
I sincerely doubt most of these guys that submit these behind the scene films are gonna have a podcast. Are gonna have.
One
all
was
this
just a
behind the
guy with
scenes.
like a. I mean, I can't dog. I mean, I was there. I've been there. I've had to
Oh, we
just
dig
do
it.
whatever.
I
Which is why
understand.
you understand where you are now.
That's where I understand where I am now, and
So you're not-
hats off to
and you're
those
not there
guys that
anymore.
only had a phone and they were in their house and they had a road mic and they were like, whatever.
Hey, man.
you know, hey, if you got to do it, you got to do
It's
it.
all
on the
about the
person.
message.
Because so a person that's really passionate and hungry and creative.
Yeah.
But I saw the opposite of that in my film class.
In your film class,
Very opposite of that.
really?
Oh man, it was one girl she was there maybe a week the whole year, and when we had our final project, she came, and of course it was her taking video on her iPhone in the park in downtown Atlanta.
That was
her project.
That was the film.
That was the film.
So she,
So
so
it's
she ran out of time and went.
Well, So there's a difference between
My
a
story is
passionate
about this
filmmaker
pigeon.
and let me get through real quick.
Yeah.
This pigeon walking to get some food, and it's avant-garde.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the pigeon is you, and it's life. The park is life.
Now you see how much effort it takes to come up with that bullshit.
I love it.
See, that's art right there.
I love
Whenever
it.
I make a mistake on set, I always have a backup plan. It's like, well, you know why I did that, right? As an actor,
See, the
love it.
process.
the
is-
process is, and really, it was a fuck up that ended up working.
Yeah.
I had this dream last night, and on the
Trying to
set,
justify it.
you know,
That's dope, man. I'm really eager to see the other people's projects. They're behind
Some
the
of them
scenes.
I've seen. Some of them are really pretty good, but
Yeah.
I really want ours to. I think ours is going to shine in the fact that there's just a lot of information.
Yeah, I think that the production quality, and just the content itself, that double whammy. I
Yeah.
think that'll work.
All the supplemental stuff too. I mean, we'll have I'm really excited to see what everyone puts together. And the only way this is gonna work, only way, telling you guys now, is if everyone fucking shares it.
Oh, dude,
Because if it doesn't,
huge promo.
that was the biggest problem before with the stuff that I used to work with, is that all the people I would work with is like, oh, okay,
Cool.
yeah, you have to push it.
I'm gonna be on everyone. I'm emailing all of you.
You gotta-
I'm sending you messages if you don't email me back.
Every single one. Like, if you guys don't do it, I'll do it. I'm gonna boost posts. I'll put like $10 here,
I'm
there, or whatever, just to push it out as
what
much
I'm
as
doing.
possible.
Shout out to compositeeffects.com for the silicone mask that you made. You guys are getting some posts on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
And some shout outs. They're out in California. Gotta check this website out, dude. Their silicone masks are, I mean, you saw it. It's just
dude,
awesome.
It was
They're just
unreal.
so
I
cool.
love the quality, and I love how easy it was to apply and to get on and to move. It was very dope.
And
man.
that gold dress was made by DV Couture
There you
on
go.
Etsy.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So they make some crazy stuff. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without drag queens.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, dude. Shout out to them drag queens.
Shout out to drag queens and planetpeppernyc.com.
There we go.
All of you guys, all of this stuff came together right at the right time.
Right. Hell yeah.
Meant to be.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is. Now we got a
magic
great
filmmaking.
piece.
Yeah.
and I think people will enjoy it. I think people will like it.
Absolutely.
Are you able to? Okay, so 2 questions for this behind the scenes thing, and for like do you want to cut a trailer? Is it is it against the rules to cut a trailer for this?
I think it can be trailer-esque, but I think it's more like. Oh, you mean for before we release the film?
So I imagine when you submit, it's live.
It's on you. You upload it to YouTube, and then you send it to them,
Oh,
and then they put it on the website. So
Really?
it's already public. That's the problem.
I
It's
see.
already public and out there.
Okay,
But it does link it to your YouTube, so you get a lot of traffic, which is
Okay.
nice.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
So that's how they do. I don't know why they're doing it that way, but that's just how they're doing it.
Okay.
So I would have liked to have cut a trailer, maybe for the director's cut
Gotcha,
or whatever.
gotcha.
Because even if say we don't win anything at all for this thing, I think that longer version really could stand up well in a festival next year during the festival season, just
Sure.
because it's got a lot more depth
Yeah.
in that version, I think. But
Absolutely.
so yeah, that is so the behind the scenes is kind of the
That's the push.
making of and the I guess you could say it's almost like a kind of like a trailer, but
So with that, are we limited to the type of music? What music we could use? We can use anything.
Music Bed is one of the that's why I ended up using. I have a subscription with them anyway, so the music that's in the current film is from them.
It's from
So
them.
I
That's
can
great.
I can license from them. They're one of the sponsors of this competition.
I see.
And I love their stuff because they have stuff from not just like random. They don't just make everything. These are just actual artists that upload, real music. Some of these guys I've listened to on CDs in the past. I'm like, oh, wow, they have their stuff on Music Bed now. Like these guys are actually. It's different than other royalty-free stuff where you have one guy making a certain type. These are actual artists that put their stuff out there, and they're like they're getting paid licenses to have people put stuff in movies. There's Johnny Cash on there. There's
Wow.
Charlie Rich. There's some old stuff on there
Okay.
that I couldn't find on any other licensing site out there because they got the rights to it somehow.
Damn.
So we're using that. I can send you anything that's whatever style you're looking for.
Yeah,
I also have in the past I never had to worry about music.
Sure.
My family is all musicians.
Oh, there you go.
My brother, I have all of my brother's catalog
right.
of music.
Yeah,
Just
your family's, your wife, man.
There you go. There you
she's
go.
a musician.
Your brother, your dad.
Yeah.
There you go.
My mom's a singer. I'm a singer. My dad plays guitar, and he's a rock star. He played with like Leonard Skinner, and he played with some of the greats,
That's
back in the
awesome.
day. My brother was in the heavy metal scene for years, but he plays fingerstyle folk as well. Like
There you go.
he can really cross. But I have 2 whole albums of just instrumental guitar that he has done
Oh wow.
that I can use. He's like, dude,
With anything, yeah.
just use it. A lot of it was in Love My Country.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, that's good. There's
family affair.
That's good that there's no restrictions then with this kind of stuff, and that
Yeah,
helps
because
out a
it's
lot.
obviously you don't want YouTube to be like, hey,
yours?
is that yours?
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about that now because I can either license it from Music Bed or just grab something of my brother's or friends. Rommel does music. My best friend Rommel does rap and poetry and spoken word stuff. So
Okay. Well, I have plenty of stuff to work with.
yeah,
Even what's her name? She's a musician. She offered to use some of her music. didn't she?
Ellie.
Ellie, yeah.
Yeah, who plays Alvita? Yeah, she's good too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're not short in the musician department.
Okay.
We got some great ones.
That's good, man. Well, dude, I think we covered everything.
I think we did.
and then some.
And more than we
Plus
thought.
a little more.
Just a little more. I think these guys will have plenty
Yeah.
of stuff to watch. I mean, any last words or anything else you want to say? Push them towards anything because we've already did a call out.
Right.
We've only begun.
This is only the beginning.
That's right. That's right.
I'm just thrilled to be able to be an artist in a time like this. Thank you to everyone who was involved. If I win this thing, we're gonna keep this train rolling. And not only that, I just love working with you guys. If I never made another dime, I would work with all of you guys again. And just because I love doing it. It was really good to be on the other side of the camera, too, for a while.
Hell yeah. Hell
It was
yeah.
fun staring
So
at
thank
you.
you.
And your wardrobe.
Yes. Big thank you to everyone. Yeah.
Solid words from two solid dudes.
Solid dudes.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by
Yes.
on
Wow.
this Saturday Santos show. And we hope you all enjoyed it as well. Be sure to watch both shorts,
Yes.
Chuck's Fate and
BTS.
the behind the scenes, because
Making up.
so many people worked hard on it. So many people invested time.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
That's right. So we hope you really enjoy it. Show us how much you enjoyed it with voting. And
Yeah.
we will catch you guys after we win.
Hey.
Peace out, guys. That's a cut.